Hot in Cleveland is an American sitcom on TV Land starring Valerie Bertinelli, Jane Leeves, Wendy Malick and Betty White. The series, which is TV Land's first original scripted series, premiered on June 16, 2010, and was TV Land's highest-rated telecast in the cable network's 14-year history. The series was picked up for 10 episodes. On May 1, 2014, TV Land renewed Hot in Cleveland for a sixth season and confirmed the following November it would be the show's last. The series ran for 128 episodes, with the hour-long final episode airing on June 3, 2015. The series was created by Suzanne Martin and is executive produced by Martin, Sean Hayes and Todd Milliner, through their production companies Samgen Productions and Hazy Mills Productions, and is produced in association with TV Land. The concept behind the show is based on an original idea by Linda Robbs, who serves as executive producer. The series was recorded in front of a live studio audience at CBS's Studio Center in Studio City, California. Synopsis. The series centers on three aging entertainment industry veterans from Los Angeles, Melanie, Joy, and Victoria. The three women find a more welcoming and less shallow and youth-obsessed community in Cleveland, Ohio, where, as seen in the pilot episode, their Paris-bound plane makes an emergency landing. They decide to stay and lease a home where a sassy caretaker still lives in the guest house. Cast and characters. Main cast: Valerie Bertinelli as Melanie Hope Moretti, a writer and mother of college-age kids Will and Jenna. Depressed by her divorce, she boards a plane to Paris in the pilot episode to find love. However, when the plane makes an emergency landing in Cleveland, Melanie loves the city and its people so much that she decides to stay. Melanie discovers she is pregnant at the end of season 4 with Alex's baby. However, it turns out that she has a brain tumor, which caused symptoms that affected her pregnancy test. Jane Leeves as Rejoice Joy Scroggs, a never-married beautician, known as the Eyebrow Queen of Beverly Hills, who counts among her clients stars such as Oprah Winfrey and Ryan Seacrest. Joy's mother, who lives in England, is highly critical of her. She had a son, Owen, when she was 15, but put him up for adoption. In the first season finale, Joy receives a message from her son, but a tornado prevents her from contacting him. Her son finally comes to visit her in season 2, with disastrous results. At the end of season 3, a baby is left on the women's doorstep. This baby is revealed in season 4 as Joy's grandson Wilbur. At the end of season 4, Joy's baby daddy, Simon, shows up and wants to get back together. Joy eventually marries her quirky boss, Bob. In the series finale, Wendy Malick as Victoria Chase, a six-time divorced, Emmy and Oscar award-winning soap opera star whose 27-year running show, Edge of Tomorrow, was recently cancelled, leaving her to lament that her only career opportunities are playing Megan Fox's grandmother and Melanie Griffith's mother, and promoting adult underpants in Japan. She has also appeared in numerous Lifetime movies, the titles of which she brings up throughout the series. Her jobs in Cleveland have included high school drama teacher and reporter for Ohio, a local news magazine program. In season 4, she stars in a fictional Woody Allen movie, later marrying her co-star Emmett Lawson while he is in prison. She has two daughters, Emmy and Oscar, and one son named Tony. She is sworn enemies with Susan Lucci and has fought Melanie Griffith. Betty White as Elka Ostrowski, an elderly Polish caretaker whose judgmental retorts to the other women in the pilot reveal an astringent demeanor and allude to a storied life, including escaping from the Nazis, an active sex life, heavy drinking, and possible marijuana use. It is revealed in the first season finale that her late husband had mob connections, and that the smell of marijuana came from the polish of his stolen goods. In the season 2 finale, her dead husband surprisingly shows up at her wedding to Fred. White was only expected to have a guest role in the pilot episode. but her performance was so well received that the producers decided to make her a regular. Recurring cast Wayne Knight as Rick, the women's neighbor and a reporter for the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Rick has slept with Joy, but professes in Season 2 that he is more attracted to Melanie. Carl Reiner as Max, Elka's on-again, off-again boyfriend. Susan Lucci, as a fictionalized version of herself, a rival of Victoria's from their soap opera days, who is constantly competing with her. Huey Lewis as Johnny Revere, a famous musician who has an on-off sexual relationship with Victoria that dates back many years. Though the two have genuine affection for each other, career pursuits always got in the way of a lasting relationship. In the series finale, the two finally decide to settle down, and they get engaged. Joe Jonas as Will, Melanie's son, who is in college. Juliet Mills as Philippa, Joy's uptight and critical mother. Michael McMillan as Owen, Joy's son from a teenage pregnancy, whom she gave up for adoption. He has his own illegitimate son, Wilbur, in the 4th season. Jennifer Love Hewitt as Emmy Chase, Victoria's actress daughter. In the 5th season, it is revealed she is married and 8 months pregnant with a daughter, named Melon, to whom she later gives birth. John Mahoney as Roy, a waiter who flirts with Elka in Season 2. In Season 3, he fakes a murder investigation to get closer to Elka. The two start dating, and go on many adventures, including skydiving. They break up after Roy's mother disapproves of Elka, but get back together in Season 5, albeit briefly. Buck Henry as Fred, Elka's fiancé in Season 2. Their wedding is halted before they say their vows after Elka's dead husband shockingly shows up. James Patrick Stewart as Colin Cooper, Victoria's co-anchor on Ohio, whom she finds annoying. He has an off-on relationship with Joy throughout the 2nd and 3rd seasons. John Lovitz as Artie Firestone, a mentally unstable billionaire who is heir to the Firestone family fortune. In Season 2, while disowned by his family and homeless, he became engaged to Joy so she could get her green card. In Season 3, he began taking medication for his mental illness and was welcomed back into the Firestone family. The character's name and personal fortune is a reference to another character played by Lovitz, Artie Ziff, on The Simpsons. Georgia Engel as Mamie Sue Johnson, a naive friend of Elka's. She and Elka run an illegal pharmacy in the 4th season. Dave Foley as Detective Bob Moore, Joy's strange employer at a private detective agency where she works as a college intern. He quickly becomes infatuated with Joy. By Season 6, Joy finally reciprocates the feelings and the two get engaged. They get married and adopt a baby girl in the series finale. Craig Ferguson as Simon, Joy's former lover, Owen's father, and Wilbur's grandfather, who comes back into her life unexpectedly. Jay Harrington as Alec, Melanie's boss and love interest in the 4th season. He and Melanie break up amicably, so that he can have the chance to be a father. Heather Locklear as Chloe, Alec's ex-wife who is still his business partner. Alan Dale as Emmett Lawson, Victoria's on-screen and off-screen love interest during the 4th season. He proposes to Victoria, but is soon arrested for tax fraud. He and Victoria marry in prison in the season finale, but he escapes from prison disguised as her. He faked his death and is presumably still alive in a remote area of the world, but Victoria has decided to move on without him. Eddie Cibrian as Sean, Joy's fireman love interest. Tim Daly as Mitch Turner, Joy's new boss after he takes over the detective agency from Bob. He later becomes Joy's boyfriend. Bill Bellamy as Councilman Powell, a wheelchair-bound, former Ohio State University football star who holds a city council seat that Elka seeks. Guest stars. Season 1 guest stars during the 1st season included Shirley Knight as Melanie's overprotective mother, Loretta Hal Linden as Victoria's womanizing actor father, Alex, singer Joe Jonas as Melanie's son, Will, Carl Reiner as Max, Elka's boyfriend, Bill Dwyer as Melanie's ex-husband Anders, and Juliet Mills as Joy's critical mother, Philippa. Other first-season guest stars include John Schneider, Wayne Knight, Robert Gant, Huey Lewis, Amy Yazbek, Tim Conway, Mark Indelicato, David Starzyk, Gary Anthony Williams, Dave Foley and Susan Lucci. Season 2. For the second season, Mary Tyler Moore guest starred in the season premiere as Elka's jail cellmate, in the wake of the latter's arrest in the first season finale. This marked the first time since 1977, when the Mary Tyler Moore show ended, that White and Moore had worked together. Sherry Shepherd appeared in 2 episodes as the judge in Elka's competency case. David Starzyk, John Schneider, Huey Lewis, Wayne Knight and Carl Reiner all reprised their roles from season 1. Bonnie Franklin also guest starred as Melanie's ex-boyfriend's mother, Franklin reuniting with One Day at a Time co-star Valerie Bertinelli. On July 20, 2011, Doris Roberts appeared as Lydia Dombrowski, Elka's nemesis. Jennifer Love Hewitt guest starred as Victoria's daughter Emmy, while Michael McMillan appeared as Joy's son, Owen. Buck Henry appeared in multiple episodes as Elka's love interest and eventual fiancé. Jimmy Kimmel, Susan Lucci, and Melanie Griffith made guest appearances as themselves. Michael E. Knight, John Lovitz, Isaiah Mustafa, Monica Horan, Frank Calienda, Cedric the Entertainer, Darnell Williams and Jane Leaves Frasier co-stars Perry Gilpin and John Mahoney also appeared on the show as guest stars. Don Rickles made a surprise appearance as Elka's dead husband in the Season 2 finale, Elka's Wedding. Season 3 features guest stars such as series producer Sean Hayes as a hand model boyfriend of Victoria's, Giles Marini as Captain LeBeau, Kathy Lee Gifford, Sandra Bernhard, Don Rickles as Elka's late husband Bob, who faked his death, John Mahoney as Roy, Elka's boyfriend, and Laura San Giacomo as Melanie's estranged sister, and Baron Davis and Josh Cribbs as themselves. In addition to Mary Tyler Moore guest starring in the second season premiere, the third season saw Betty White reunite with Ed Asner and Georgia Engel in 2 different episodes. The season includes the return of guests Jennifer Love Hewitt, Susan Lucci, Huey Lewis, Joe Jonas and John Lovitz, Sybil Shepherd, Curtis Armstrong, Doug Savant, Kristen Chenoweth, Barry Bostwick, Dan Cortese, Lee Corso, Regis Philbin, Joan Rivers, and David Spade also make guest appearances in the third season. Season 4 recurring guests include Heather Locklear as Chloe, Jay Harrington as Alec, and Alan Dale as Emmett. Other guest stars include Craig Ferguson, who plays the ex-boyfriend that left Joy when she became pregnant, Eddie Cibrian as Sean, Fred Willard as Dr. Hill, and Gary Anthony Sturgis as Officer Davenport, while Ed Begley, Jr., Nicholas Bishop, Heather Dubrow, Dave Foley, Jesse Tyler Ferguson and George Hamilton also make guest appearances. Georgia Engel and Regis Philbin reprise their roles from the previous season, while Michael McMillan returns as Owen, Joy's son, and Juliet Mills returns for 1 episode as Joy's mother. In the live episode for the mid-season premiere, Academy Award winner Shirley Jones makes a guest appearance, as does William Shatner as Sally from Cincinnati. Carol Burnett guest starred as Victoria's mother and Jean Smart guest starred as Victoria's sister in the second episode of the summer season. Tim Conway also reprised his role as Elka's ex-boyfriend, Nick. The Mary Tyler Moore Show cast reunited on screen for the first time in 36 years, in an episode where Mary Tyler Moore, Valerie Harper, Cloris Leachman, Betty White and Georgia Engel were all members of a 1960s bowling team reuniting for the first time in 50 years. In the season finale, Melanie announces she is pregnant. Joy rekindles her love for her son's father, and Victoria's husband, Emmett, who is in jail, has escaped on the night of their jailhouse honeymoon. Season 5 premiered with The Soul Man with 2 back-to-back live episodes on March 26, 2014. Guest stars in the premiere episode included Dave Foley and Georgia Engel reprising their roles from the previous seasons, and Ken Jeong making a guest appearance, with Alex Trebek appearing as himself. Cedric the Entertainer made a special guest appearance reprising his role from the Hot in Cleveland spin-off The Soul Man, while Betty White reprised her role as Elka on The Soul Man. Tim Daly was added as recurring character Mitch, Joy's new boss and love interest. Additional guest appearances were made by Thomas Lennon, Jamie Presley, Angela Kinsey, Chris Elliott, Jason Priestley, Sarah Hyland, Max Greenfield, Sherry O'Terry, Chevy Chase, Rob Schneider, Nora Duns, Morgan Fairchild, Kobe Bell, Chris Colfer, Will Sasso, Steven Tyler, Queen Latifah, Perez Hilton and Deborah Monk. Season 6. The sixth season was announced by TV Land as the final season for the series. Guest stars for this season include Ernie Hudson as one of Victoria's ex-husbands who helps her come to terms with their once embarrassing legacy, Andrew J. West as a man who hits on Melanie, Tim Sharp as the producer of Victoria's new TV show, and Robert Wagner as Jim, a Newman in Elka's life. Mario Lopez appears as himself, with newly appointed councilwoman Elka trying to lure him into taping his TV show in Cleveland. Will Sasso reprises his role as Frankie, Melanie's co-host on the He Said, She Said radio program. Bob Newhart, Thomas Gibson and Huey Lewis all appear in the season and series finale episodes. Development and production. Hot in Cleveland is TV Land's first attempt at a first-run scripted comedy and is produced by Sean Hayes' Hazy Mills Productions and written by Suzanne Martin, who also serves as the showrunner. It is shot with a multi-camera setup in front of a live studio audience at the CBS Studio Center Production Studios. TV Land announced that the show was renewed for a second season on July 7, 2010. The 20-episode second season began production on November 1, 2010, and premiered January 19, 2011. On February 28, 2011, TV Land renewed the show for a third season to consist of 22 episodes. On March 21, 2011, TV Land announced that the third season order was increased to 24 episodes. On January 12, 2012, TV Land renewed the series for a fourth season. Betty White was only meant to appear in the pilot of the show but was asked to stay on for the entire series. She is reportedly earning $75,000 per episode for the series. Spin-off series and crossovers. On April 18, 2011, it was announced that Cedric the Entertainer would guest star in a Season 2 episode as a minister that gets caught up in the girls' problems. The episode served as a backdoor pilot for a spin-off series to star Cedric. The episode, entitled Brides Elka, was written by Hot in Cleveland creator Suzanne Martin and aired on August 24, 2011. The spin-off series centers on Reverend Boyce as he moves from Cleveland to St. Louis and has to balance his wild past as an R&B singer with the expectations of his congregation and his family. On January 12, 2012, TV Land officially picked up the pilot to series under the title Have Faith, with the first season set to have 12 episodes. On March 11, 2012, it was announced that the series title was changed from Have Faith to The Soul Man. The series premiered on June 20, 2012. In the March 27, 2014 premiere of Hot in Cleveland, Cedric the Entertainer reprises his role as Reverend Boyce. However, he doesn't appear to recognize the characters from his appearance in Season 2 of Hot in Cleveland. Betty White also reprises her role as Elka on The Soul Man. In the second season of Hot in Cleveland, the show crossed over with daytime soap opera All My Children. In the two-part episode, I Love Lucci, Wendy Malick appeared on All My Children, where she was credited as Victoria Chase, while Susan Lucci appears as herself on Hot in Cleveland. The fifth season of Hot in Cleveland featured a crossover with the television show Kirstie, which also aired on TV Land in 2013-14. Critical reception. The show has received positive reviews from critics. Wendy Malick and Betty White have both received extensive praise for their performances. The first season scored a 65 out of 100 on Metacritic. Comparisons with The Golden Girls. Hot in Cleveland has been referred to as a modern spin on the classic 1980s television series The Golden Girls, which also featured actress Betty White in a starring role. TV Land, the network known as the refuge for people looking to fall asleep to reruns of shows from their childhood, has made its first scripted program a modern version of the classic sitcom premise. Alessandra Stanley of The New York Times commented, "This is the first original scripted comedy on TV Land, a network that was founded on reruns. So not surprisingly, Hot in Cleveland is a pastiche of classics, a little bit Cheers and Frasier, a little bit The Golden Girls." Michael Musto of The Village Voice wrote, "Wendy Malick is basically the modern-day Beatha. Sweet-faced Valerie Bertinelli is the new Betty White. Been around Jane Leeves is the nouveau Rue McClanahan. And witheringly sarcastic Golden Girl Betty White has turned into Estelle Getty." Awards and nominations. Betty White received a Screen Actors Guild Award nomination for her role as Elka Ostrovsky, and went on to win the award. The cast received a nomination for Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Comedy Series. On May 17, 2011, TV Land entered the show in the race for the 63rd Primetime Emmy Awards. The show submitted for Outstanding Comedy Series and Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series for all four leading women. To reinforce the idea of an ensemble cast, the show also submitted in technical categories. On July 14, 2011, the show received 2 Primetime Emmy nominations, including Betty White getting nominated for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. In December 2011, Betty White received her second consecutive SAG nomination for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Comedy Series. She went on to win it. In 2012, Hot in Cleveland received 2 more Emmy nominations. Ratings. The series premiere of Hot in Cleveland was a ratings success for TV Land. It earned a 1.9 rating and averaged 2 million viewers among the network's target adults 25 to 54 audience, and also averaged 1.3 million among women 25 to 54. It drew a total of 4.75 million viewers, making it the most watched show in TV Land history. DVD releases. Paramount Home Media Distribution began releasing seasons of Hot in Cleveland on Region 1 DVD, with the first season being released on January 11, 2011 and the second season on November 29, 2011.